stocks our strategists feel are poised to deliver positive returns are featured now in their top stock picks of the week.
We are going to hear about two varying tech stocks, two different types of tech stocks with good growth potential from our strategists Ryan McQueenie and Kevin Cook. Haven't seen him in a while here. Welcome back to the desk.
Thanks.
Ryan, we're going to start with you, though. You've got Cypress Semiconductor.
Yes, sir. The ticker is CY there. To me, this is essentially an Internet of Things pure play on the chip making side of the business.
Okay.
So they're a semiconductor company that's focused on the microchips that are used in really the broad range of IoT applications. Going back to 2016, they paid $550 million for Broadcom's IoT business at that time. And if you look throughout the industry, Cypress's Weist IoT platform, that's kind of like the brand name for it, is really a piece of one of the broader IoT portfolios in the chip making business right now. So that's, in my head, it's an IoT play. And if you look at the price consensus and EPS surprise chart here right off the bat, we can see that going back to 2016 when that deal was made, it's been a 2-year period of both earnings growth and a strong rally in the stock. And then you get into 2018 and it's just been this up and down roller coaster. But the earnings trend and the earnings momentum has really stayed the same. So you're still seeing strong growth potential here, and you're seeing beating estimates. You're just not seeing the stock respond how we'd like to see the stock respond. So I think that there is potential there. And looking at the most recent earnings estimate revisions, this is a number one strong buy. So as we could have guessed from that ranking, the most recent earnings estimate revisions have been nothing but positive. 6 for the current quarter within the last 30 days, 8 for the full year. That's bringing our Zacks consensus estimates higher. As you said, great growth potential. Zacks consensus estimate for the rest of the year calling for full year earnings growth of in 2018 of 50%. So
wow.
Almost 51%. And then I want to just look at the potential we have here. So that up and down trading from the years really, I think, giving us kind of a value opportunity at this point. So if we could look, it's a B grade for value in the style score system, trading at just 15 times forward earnings, and with a PEG of about 0.94, you're getting a good price for that growth outlook that I mentioned. And then a little bit more on the growth side of things, also sporting an A grade for growth in the style score system as well.
Okay. Kevin Cook, you're a little bit out of your realm here with this one in as far as the stocks you typically look at.
Is that a comment on my age, Terry?
Well, take it whatever way you want.
Listen, I'm not playing games with this one, okay?
Yeah, okay. And you were a skeptic on it.
Yes, yes.
So this is Turtle Beach Corporation. We list them as an audio technology company.
Which they are, yeah.
But you have a little more insight into them.
I mean, the stock has exploded here. In May, the stock was trading $7. Now it's trading above 26. And it's been as high as 34 after its most recent earnings report. So some people think, oh, this is crazy. What's going on with the stock? But the fundamentals support it. Now, it is part of a mania in gaming, okay? So there's these battle royale games that the kids are playing.
Yeah.
Fortnite and Players Unknown Battleground. Ryan and I have talked about this on my podcast. The kids want these headsets because the audio technology is almost like surround sound. So in the game, the player can tell where somebody is behind them in 360, right? So, and this is what you need to win at these games, which are all the rage. And there's billions of people playing them.
Right.
We'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look at the fundamentals here. On my screen, I'm showing the Zacks price and consensus chart. So you can see, okay, back in 2014, this was a $60 stock because earnings estimates were so high, but they never came true. So you look at 2015's earnings estimates, say $250 they thought the company was going to make. It closed out the year at a loss of nearly $3. And 2016 was almost a repeat. So that's why a $60 stock got hammered down to about $1 earlier this year. And then you can see just this phenomenal recovery. So why does the stock go from $7 to $30 in a matter of months? Because the company surprised with tremendous sales and turned a profit on this new gaming mania. So for this year, sales are expected to grow 73% from 150 million to about 258 million. And EPS, the bottom line, is going to go from last year's loss of about 24 cents to over $2 in profits. So this huge swing, to me, justifies the swing in the stock because none of the analysts saw it coming. Now, the question is, can they sustain it? So here's where the skeptic in me comes back. Is this just a mania, a fad? And I think you need to understand the market more. So about a month ago, I tried to understand the market more, and I sat down with my millennial colleague here, Ryan, to say, what is this gaming craze about? If you look at my screen again, I just want to show you where you can find this podcast. So if you go to the podcast page on Zacks.com, Zacks.com/podcasts, down here, Mind Over Money, click on my mug, and you'll see the July 19th episode, The $100 Billion Cult, Video Gaming and Global Youth Culture. And I asked Ryan to sit down as a guest because I wanted to know what is going on. Why is all this money being spent? I mean, NVIDIA is one of my favorite companies, so I understand that gaming is a $100 billion cult, but why? And so we talked about that, and this company. So you want to know, does this have the potential to sustain itself? Well, let's look at some of the things like the total addressable market. So these headphone makers are looking at a $1 billion market just in the console gaming. It's another $1 billion market in PC headsets, which they're going to start selling. Just last Thursday, they announced a new lineup. It's called Atlas. They're having 3 tiers of price levels for the features and of the headsets. $100, $80, and $50. These will be ready in September, in time for what? Big holiday season, right? So that's what I think you can expect for me, the stock, I'm going to game the stock and play it in a trading range from 24 to 34 if I can. It's not something I don't know if I'll want to own the stock 2 years from now because I don't know how long the trend is going to last. Although, this esports phenomenon is projected to grow massively in the next 2 decades. Getting bigger than the big 3 sports here in the U.S. NBA, NFL, and MLB. Who knows if it can take on FIFA or not. But this is the kind. So I don't think it's a flash in the pan now. It's obviously going to have a few more great quarters ahead of it. What else is going on? You got new launches, right, Ryan? I mean, aren't there going to be more Battle Royale games? Yeah. Isn't Call of Duty going to be one too?
Well, yeah, I'll say, just looking at Fortnite specifically, it's still relatively young for a craze anyway.
Okay.
So I was going to point out that when that was
from the millennial folks.
when Turtle Beach was the $60 stock that you pointed out, that was the end of the original Call of Duty craze.
Okay.
And if you looked, even bounced out that chart a little bit further, you would have seen that craze specifically lasted 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, and there was 3, 4, maybe even 5 really, really huge Call of Duty games that came out right in that time. They're still making Call of Duty games, still immensely popular game.
But the company didn't do well after that initial peak.
Right, right. So, but we've really just gotten on the saddle here with the Fortnite craze. This is a game that the Battle Royale mode came out in like a year ago. So that's early to be calling the end of a craze that has 125 million.
But I think it begs the question, looking at the Call of Duty arc, so to speak, is that do you buy the headset and then you never replace it? Is it like they're going to reach a saturation point where they've sold enough headsets?
Like everything else.
Yeah. I was going to say part of the moat here for the company, if you will, is that it's depending on the scale that you're getting it at, it's a pretty high quality product, and there aren't a ton of competitors. So if you are going to buy a new one, chances are you're looking at a Turtle Beach headset. There's only a few other companies I can think of off the top of my head that do exactly what they're doing. And so that's obviously a competitive advantage. But yeah, I mean, a high quality product means how often do I need to buy one?
Right.
You know.
But I think this was a good strategic move to roll out this new line with all these different price points, and you're going to see, can they continue to innovate? You know, they can go into keyboards and mouses too, and that's another $1 billion market. So it is possible they're looking at a total addressable market of $3 billion, and only 260 million in sales this year, and so the analysts have to figure out what can they sell into. I'll leave you with one last final funny story. I have a millennial son who plays PUBG, which is Player Unknown's Battleground, right? He's owned the headset for over 2 years and didn't tell me. Mm-hmm. I'm like,
well, but you didn't ask.
I'm like, Chris, we could have bought this stock at $1, and made 25 times our money. So
I had a Turtle Beach headset in 2010, which would have been a few years before the chart that he showed started. So
one last thing, Gamescom starts this week in Cologne, Germany. Gamescom is, Gamescom. So NVIDIA is going to have big announcements.
Yeah.
I'm sure Xbox is going to be right there with some announcements too. So
you're going to cover it for us?
Yeah, I'm going to head over to Cologne. But this is only good for Turtle Beach and here.
Definitely, and that's one thing too, that as the esports continues to grow and the scope of events like that grows, the magnitude of that on a global scale, the fact that these professionals that are going to be showing up to stuff like that, that are celebrities at things like that, are sponsored by Turtle Beach, and they're wearing the Turtle Beach jerseys, and they've got the logo on everything. Their brand name is also going to continue to.
Terry, what world do we live in now where there's esports celebrities?
I don't know. What do I know? I didn't think the internet would be here this long, so it leaves me out. All right, stock valuation, bottom line, you're happy with it?
Oh yeah, it's cheap right now, and so if they can continue the growth, I mean, to me, it's a buy anywhere in the low 20s.
All right,
and I own it now. I own it now.
You do own it. All right. What about you, Ryan?
I do not.
Own your own stock?
No.
Neither one. All right. Don't forget, more stock information always exists on our website, Zacks.com, as do podcasts by each of these two gentlemen. Ryan has Tech Talk Tuesdays, and Kevin has Mind Over Money. You'll find those podcasts on the podcast page of Zacks.com. With Ryan and Kevin, I'm Terry Ruffalo.